Hi and welcome. My name is Amelia Aburn and I am a mental health therapist and a certified yoga instructor, and I'm here today just to guide us through a nice short practice. The focus today on breathing some space and releasing into our lower back. So if you've been noticing any kind of irritation in the lower spine, in your lumbar spine, this practice is for you. We're going to move and breathe for about 15 minutes or so. And please listen to your body, take what your body is actually needing and listen in. What is it telling you as we move through these shapes? So we're actually going to go ahead and begin on our backs. I want you to go ahead and lay on back. And if you have a blanket, you might actually take the blanket and place it underneath your lower spine. Or if you have any other kind of comfy material that could help soften right underneath, right about where your pant line is. Go ahead and find that space. Bring your feet out nice and wide to the width of the mat, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to knock the knees in to touch one another. Okay, so right away you should feel some release. Actually, this is really beautiful release for your psoas. And so I want you to see if you could release into the mat, bringing one palm to rest on your tummy and one might make its way to your heart. Let your arms and your palms rest in their natural way. And see, even here, maybe you're able to allow the eyelids to get heavy, soft, and they close. And just tap into your breath. These first moments really in stillness. Feeling rise and fall of the chest, of the tummy. With each passing breath. Continue to find the breath, moving in and out of the body. As you're ready, slowly, we'll start to heel toe the feet in, out from the wider edges of the mat. And we'll bring our palms to plant on either side of the body here. Focusing on your gaze, shifting upwards as we find these movements, we're going to find a couple variations of our bridge pose. So in bridge, it's a heart opener, but really allows for a release all the way up the spine. So ground the soles of the feet to the mat, draw them in as if someday maybe your fingertips would imagine touching the heels. Totally unnecessary today, but just allowing that image. So as you're ready, we'll inhale and engage at your center. Feel your core engage as you just start to float your hips away from the mat. And then exhale, draw your seat back down. Imagine that you are gluing your tailbone into the blanket. And for this purpose, I'm looking, but please keep your gaze towards the sky, keeping your cervical spine and your neck safe. Breathe in, lift your hips up towards the sky. Exhale like you are tucking your tailbone in and gluing your lower spine back onto the blanket or onto the ground. Nice. Follow your own breath. Lift yourself up. Exhale, magnetic force pulling your lower spine back to the ground. Nice. Feel the soles of the feet really push and ground as you lift up. And exhale, release back to the mat. Take it 3 more times. Breathing. Exhale, softening you back into the ground. Twice more. Last one. Nice. From here, we're slowly going to draw our knees in towards our chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. And then from here, removing the blanket, draw your knees back in towards your tummy, giving yourself, again, that good squeeze. You might even lift your shoulder blades up off the mat, like a little egg roll. Nice. Slowly keep your knees together and extend your arms out like a T. Nice. From here, we're slowly going to draw our knees over towards the right. See if you can keep your shoulders grounded on the mat. If it's hard to keep your left shoulder on the ground, you might literally pick your seat up, lift them over towards the left side of your mat, and then try this twist again. This is a beautiful release for your lower spine. Allow your gaze to shift over towards your left and soften into the twist. Taking one more breath. You reach your way back through center. Maybe lifting your seat up, shifting your seat and your hips over towards the right side of your mat now. Drawing both knees in and then knocking them over towards your left. Shifting your gaze toward your right. Breathing into this twist. One more breath here. As you're ready, come all the way back through center. Reposition yourself on the mat so lower spine is gluing into the ground. We're going to draw our knees back in towards our tummy. Give yourself a really good squeeze. And then keep hugging your right knee in, left leg out, extending that down. From here, keep pressing as if the top of the right kneecap could come up towards your right shoulder head someday. Nice. From here, extend your right leg to the sky. Bring your hands to interlace behind your right hamstring. And then imagine that you're creating almost like an L shape here. Now the focus really for this, the purpose of this practice is gluing and breathing your lower spine into the mat. So feel your core engage. It's really the counterpart of your lower spine, is your core. And really engaging there. Flex your right foot. Imagine you could stamp it on the ceiling. Should feel even some engagement here in the inner hips, the inner thighs. Keep pressing lower spine down. Keep drawing your navel towards your spine. Breathe in. Exhale it out. Nice. From here, from this variation, bend your right knee back into your chest. Give it a good squeeze. And then release and switch. Left knee comes in. Hug, hug, hug. Right foot, right leg goes out. Nice. Give yourself these big, full breaths in and out. Take one more. And then from here, extend your left leg to the sky. Interlace your fingertips behind your left hamstring, creating almost like that L shape. Again, imagine here that your lower spine was gluing into the mat. This kind of flexion actually helps to release, but also to strengthen lower spine. Take a full round of breath, flexing both feet, engaged, really, really engaged at the core. Take one more full round of breath, lengthening the left leg. Imagine you could kick the heel towards the sky, and then release with the breath. Hug the left knee in, give it a good squeeze, and then lengthen it out. Both feet come down towards the mat, arms reach up overhead, like you are stretching completely and literally getting longer in the body. Breathe in, and exhale it out. Nice, soften the body. Hug both knees back and towards the chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. And then from here, we're going to go back to that egg roll and see if you might roll yourself a couple of times up to a seated position. Eventually coming up to your comfortable seat. Draw your seat towards the center of your mat. Flexing your feet here. Again, if you have a blanket close by, this can be really handy. You can roll it up and bring it underneath your sits bones. And from this shape, with your sits bones on the ground, you can bend into the knees. Take your arms, give yourself a hug, wrap them underneath your knees. This may be plenty. Stay right here if it's absolutely plenty. Tuck your chin towards your chest and fold. Should feel breath moving from your lower spine. If this is okay, you might start to walk your feet forward a little bit. Maybe you come onto your heels. Maybe again, this is totally enough. As you're ready, keep inching forward and find your fold here to your own sweet degree. Keep breathing into the lower spine, rising up and over to the middle back. You should feel this all along the back. If you have this bind with your arms, maybe you switch the positioning. And then releasing the palms, pulling yourself all the way back up. Inhale, sweep the palms high. Exhale, we'll twist over towards the right. Bringing your right fingertips behind you. Left palm can rest just nice and easy twist. Inhale, come back through center. We twist the other side. Inhale all the way back up through center. And then this time just fold forward once more, bringing yourself into this forward fold, our Paschimottanasana. You can tent your fingertips up. You can bring your hands towards your feet if they work towards that place. You can rest them on your shins. And then inhale, roll yourself back up. Bring yourself off of the blanket. From here, we're just going to find one final strengthening movement. So we'll slowly hug the knees in to hug one another. Feel if you can notice, you want to dip into your lower spine naturally. See if you can draw yourself up with a nice, tall, strong spine. And now from here, slide your palms underneath your knees. Play with maybe kicking once, kicking the other time. Maybe you start to bring up one leg. Maybe you lean back, balance on your sits bones, and you play with finding the other. Take a moment. Notice here, this is strengthening in your core and strengthening the opposite spot from your lower spine. So breathing, maybe you open your arms up into your boat pose, into Navasana. Take a full breath in through the nose. Stay here, open your mouth, breathe it out. Nice, 2 more breaths in. Sigh the breath out. Last one in, and let it go. Hug your knees in towards your tummy, let the soles of the feet rest, and then give yourself a really good hug. Rounding the back, tucking the chin. This is that opposite action. When you're ready, come back up, walk your feet out, scoot your seat down, at least towards the center of the mat, and then as you're ready, ground your feet into the mat, and then roll all the way onto your back. Nice. From here, we're going to hug our knees back in towards our chest, and this time we're going to find a happy baby. So the key to happy baby, especially as a release for your lower spine, is keeping your lower spine on the ground. So your happy baby may look like bending your knees and bringing your hands to your outer feet, edges of your feet, or maybe you just hold on to the outside edges of your knees and you just feel your lower spine really, really gluing into the ground. Or maybe you grab for your big toes. But if that means reaching your bum off the ground, opt for some kind of variation that allows your lower sits bones to actually be on the mat, and that will release into your lower spine. If you have your big toes and you like playing around with straightening one leg and then the other, we'll be here for 5 more breaths. Just explore. Just breathe. Feel your lower spine connected. One more breath. Feel the lower spine connected. Feel the inner and outer hips breathing, softening, opening, and then releasing out. Nice. From here, just bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. We revisit our pose here, allowing one palm to rest on the tummy, one to rest on the heart, and bringing the knees out to the width of the mat, the outer edges, knocking your knees in. Some of the most beautiful releasing into the lower spine can be found in completely receptive and restorative poses where there is no work being done. There's just undoing being done. Completely receptive and rest. So take a couple more rounds of soft inhales and exhales here. This as a final resting pose. Eventually coming out of this final shape. Bringing some movement, wiggling the fingertips, the toes, lengthen your legs all the way out in front of you, arms all the way above you. Reach as much as you can, breathing in and breathing it out. Rolling over onto your side and then pushing your way up to a comfortable seat. When you found your comfortable seat, bring your hands back to your heart. Come back to your intention for this practice and come back to some gratitude for simply making this time, for breathing, for reconnecting. Let's share one collective breath to seal this practice. Inhale nice and fully. Exhale, let it go. for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.